It all started with a simple mistake, a forgotten hand wash that led to one of the most profitable accidents in food history. Picture this, it's 1879, and a young chemist named Constantin Fahlberg is deep in his work at a Johns Hopkins University lab. The air is thick with the smell of chemicals, glass beakers clink, and Fahlberg is focused on coal tar derivatives. Yeah, you heard that right, coal tar, the same black, sticky stuff used for paving roads. He wasn't on a quest for a culinary breakthrough. His goal was far more industrial. He was trying to create new dyes. His mind was on colors and compounds, not cakes and candies. After a grueling day hunched over his experiments, Fahlberg packed up and headed home, his mind still buzzing with chemical formulas. He sat down for dinner, probably exhausted and ready to unwind. He picked up a piece of bread, took a bite and paused. It was unusually sweet. He thought it was strange, but maybe it was just the bread. Then he wiped his mouth with his napkin, and that tasted sweet too. In a moment of growing confusion, he tasted his own hand. It was intensely sweet. A light bulb went off. The sweetness wasn't in the food, it was on him. It finally dawned on him. In his haste to leave the lab, he had forgotten to wash his hands. That single, simple oversight was the key. He realized that one of the chemicals he'd been working with must have been the source of this incredible sweetness. The next morning, he didn't just walk back to the lab. He rushed. He had to find out which substance was responsible. He began the tedious process of retracing his steps, testing every compound he had worked with the previous day. He tasted his way through his workbench, a practice that would make any modern safety officer faint until he found it. One of the beakers contained a substance that was unbelievably sweet. He had stumbled upon something extraordinary. He named it saccharin. This new compound was a marvel. Through further testing, Fahlberg discovered that saccharin was about 300 to 400 times sweeter than regular table sugar, but with a major difference: it had 0 calories. Your body couldn't metabolize it, so it passed right through without adding an inch to your waistline. It was a game changer. Initially, the discovery didn't exactly make him a hero in the scientific community. His boss at Johns Hopkins, Professor Ira Remsen, was furious that Fahlberg patented the discovery alone, claiming he had contributed to the research. Their falling out became legendary, with Remsen famously saying, "Fahlberg is a scoundrel. It nauseates me to hear my name mentioned in the same breath with him." Despite the controversy, saccharin's journey was just beginning. At first, its main application was as a sugar substitute for people with diabetes who needed to control their sugar intake. It was a medical miracle for them. But its big break came during times of scarcity. When World War I caused massive sugar shortages across Europe and America, saccharin stepped in to fill the gap. It was used to sweeten foods and drinks for both soldiers on the front lines and civilians back home. Suddenly, this lab accident was a household staple, a patriot in a packet. After the war, sugar became plentiful again, and saccharin faded slightly into the background. But it was waiting for its next big moment, which arrived with the rise of a new cultural obsession: dieting. In the 1950s and 60s, as calorie counting became a national pastime, the diet industry exploded. And what was the perfect ingredient for a sweet treat without the guilt? Saccharin, of course. This led to the birth of the diet soda craze. Brands like Tab, which was a massive hit for Coca-Cola, used saccharin as their primary sweetener. An entire generation grew up with the distinct aftertaste of this accidental discovery. But the story of saccharin isn't all sweet. In the 1970s, it faced its biggest challenge yet. A series of studies on lab rats linked high doses of saccharin to bladder cancer. Panic ensued. The media ran wild with headlines about the dangers lurking in diet drinks. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, moved to ban it. Warning labels were slapped on every product containing saccharin, stating, "Use of this product may be hazardous to your health. This product contains saccharin, which has been determined to cause cancer in laboratory animals." It seemed like the end of the road for our accidental sweetener. But the public fought back. People who relied on saccharin, especially those with diabetes, protested the ban. They argued that the risk was overblown and that the benefits far outweighed the potential dangers. The science was also re-examined. Researchers pointed out that the studies were conducted on rats, who were fed astronomical amounts of saccharin equivalent to a human drinking hundreds of diet sodas a day. Furthermore, the biological mechanism that caused tumors in rats didn't even exist in humans. After decades of debate and more than 30 human studies that found no link between saccharin and cancer, the tide finally turned. In 2000, the U.S. National Toxicology Program officially removed saccharin from its list of potential carcinogens, and the warning labels were finally taken off. Today, saccharin is still around, found in the little pink packets of Sweet and Low on cafe tables around the world. While it now competes with other artificial sweeteners like aspartame and sucralose, it holds its place in history as the first of its kind. And it all goes back to one evening in 1879, a tired chemist and a very peculiar-tasting dinner. Constantin Fahlberg's dirty hands didn't just create a chemical compound. They kick-started a multi-billion-dollar industry and fundamentally changed the way we think about food, health, and sweetness itself. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the most groundbreaking discoveries aren't planned in a lab. They're stumbled upon by accident. They come from the mistakes we didn't even know we were making. Thanks for joining me on this sweet journey into the past. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more tales of accidental genius, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.